Hi everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. In the last episode, we saved the Gillmen from the trolls. In this episode, we will be going with Gurglefin here to take on getting the twin spouts, so we can hold the internal water source. Alright, here we go.
Well, I hope everything's in working order. Never really know, but what the heck? Life's a carp shoot, right? You ready to leave for the Darkwater Cove?
Forward and onward!
Terrific! I love a long water voyage. We'll set sail
Yes.
at once. Gee, I hope I don't get seasick. Too late.
Alrighty. Here we are. Let's do it. Let's do it live.
It figures. The main gates are closed.
Why is he wearing a pirate hat now?
I guess we'll have to land at the outer island. Looks like we're going to have to find a way inside the fortress if we're going to retrieve the spouts. Yep, this is just perfect.
Okay. Talk to you later, Gurglefin. Let's go.
Carp! We've been spotted by their artillery.
And of course, take out my boat. Do it. Do it.
That sure is going to make things a lot harder. Guess the best thing to do is to keep out of their crosshairs.
Yeah, probably.
Skylanders of the Earth are strong.
Yeah, so for this one, you know, if you move into the crosshairs, just move away, obviously. Yeah, it's not overly hard. So in the last episode, I was talking about series and games that get shunned, that, you know, shouldn't necessarily be shunned. You know, find the good in them. You know, I'm doing a Halo 4 video at the same time as this series, and a lot of people that I know don't really care for Halo 4. They felt like it should have been left as a trilogy, and that by, you know, opening it back up, that it's ruined a lot of things. So, you know, personally, I felt that although the story might not be the best overall in the series, personally, I think it's a decent story. You know, at that point, Cortana and Master Chief have a really, really strong relationship together, and you know, it's them struggling to maintain that relationship because, you know, Cortana's kind of but yeah, and then personally, I felt that some of the weapons in there were pretty sweet, including the Scattershot. I felt that gun, basically a crazier version of a shotgun. I felt that it was awesome. And then the was it the incinerator cannon, like the Promethean rocket launcher? That thing was sweet too. Like everybody would just dissolve. Right, doing pretty well so far in this level. Wow. This one gets tricky a little bit later on with collecting everything because they put stuff in weird places. I guess not necessarily weird, but just kind of places where you wouldn't normally expect them to be. So. But, yeah, I mean, it's kind of like with every series. There's one or two games that don't feel the same as the other games in this series. I mean, if you have a series that's running long enough, you'll have some people didn't really care for Mario Sunshine. I thought that game was pretty sweet too. took me a while to get adjusted to it because, you know, didn't have the same. It was like they were trying to remake, sort of like remake Mario 64, but they took a different feel to it, and I felt like it worked out. Plus, the game's glitchy as hell. But yeah, I mean, I feel like an industry that isn't taking the risk, like set, or at least yeah, they're set to fail if they're not taking risk and trying new things. You know,
There's a temple near the top
all
of the
my favorite
waterfalls.
series
That's
have
where they
taken
hold their
some
pirate
sort of
auctions,
risk and
don't you
tried
know?
something new.
I bet my left fin, that's
Sonic,
where the spouts
Sonic's
are.
done it on more than an occasion. Zelda's done it. Hell, they were like the series known for trying new things and seeing how it pans out. I mean, Metroid did it with Other M. A lot of people don't like Other M. I think Other M's pretty sweet. They're like, oh, it's too story-based. Well, personally, I feel like it meant more to me because of that. People are like, well, Samus looked like a little girl whenever Ridley showed up. You know, to be honest, and I think this has been addressed, I can't remember whose video it was. It might have been Animal Guys. But it comes down to, you know, that's the person that's killed her parents. Not only that, is also apparently come back from the dead. When they've died like 3 times at that point. Well, maybe not quite that many. Died in the original and Super Metroid. So I guess it's once, maybe twice. But, you know, it's come back to life to haunt her again. Like, I'd be terrified. And it wasn't like she just stopped doing it. And in the other games, there wasn't any means of portraying the fact that she was terrified.
You need a magic Skylander.
There was no story base in the original Metroid or Super Metroid to like show. I mean, I think in Super Metroid they showed like a picture. But to be honest, she looked terrified in that picture. I mean, she was terrified. Was it Metroid Fusion?
Skylanders of the
ran into
magic
next
element are stronger in the
another
zone.
Ridley. So, yeah. I mean, you can hate on the games as much as you want, but I personally felt like it was the right way to go. There was so much other awesomeness going on in that game that I honestly could have cared less. I don't even know if you saw how she took out some of those bad guys, but you get those like close encounters, like grabbing the head of the enemy and blasting straight into the face. But man, it was sweet. So, in my opinion, might go this way first. Didn't want to. All right, sweet. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of just finding the good things about the games and, you know, enjoying that. If you're truly an avid video game lover, you should be able to find the good in any game. I mean, there's been some games I don't really care for. There's never been a game that I would could say I utterly despise at any point. So, once again, this is just me, so people have their own, I mean, everybody has their own opinion on the matter. I'm not going to sit here and dispute theirs. This might be a couple moves away. But yeah, I mean, arguably, you know, a lot of people didn't really want to see the Spyro series reboot. Personally, I feel like, I mean, I've only played the first one, but I feel like the reboot, was it Spyro, The Legend of Spyro?
Skylanders
That series, I feel like it's a pretty solid reboot to the overall Spyro series. It's a different story and everything, but I felt like the very first one, it's not the same kind of gameplay, but it was well done in my opinion.
A note from a salty sea dog says
So,
it's not easy being
yeah.
a pirate. Many complain
I
of long
feel
hours,
like,
seasickness,
you know,
and parrot bites. Worst of all is
It's
having
kind of
to
just
explain
seeing
what a poop
how
deck is.
it's gonna pan out. You have to take the time and kind of like just see, you know, what really is good about how things pan out. I mean, game developers didn't do it because they thought it was a terrible decision. They thought it was a good one. So you got to kind of see where they were aiming for, and that kind of thing. So, yeah. Now I'm just kind of rambling again, but yeah. It's literally, I mean, personally, I don't consider these Spyro games. I know Spyro's name's in the game, but in all honesty, this is a commercial game made with the sole intention of making a bunch of money because there's 32 characters and you have to buy all of them separately, except for 3. All the other ones are separate. So, I don't count this one as a Spyro game, and I mean, even they use it as a sales scheme, and it was a pretty solid idea, to be honest. A lot of people grew up with, you know, the PlayStation and the Spyro series, so you know, you can't fault them for making money. You know, got all 3 games and a decent amount of the different characters, so. But yeah, it's trying to find the good in everything. You gotta look at the positive stuff associated with different types of gaming and whatnot. I mean, I just love games. I wouldn't be doing this if I hated games. Well, maybe I'd do it just for money. Granted, I don't have enough viewers to make money off of it right now, so maybe at some point. Plus, I know Rabbit Luigi touched on this, but these days, if there's any sort of music associated, they can call you out on it. You can't get money for the video anyways. It doesn't matter that I'm doing the Let's Play and talking about how I'm doing the Let's Play. To them, I stole their stuff apparently, or at least Google Plus. I don't know what Google Plus is. Google's I'm taking over the world sort of thing. Basically, it's like Skynet. It's a little known fact about Google. They're building robots to take over the whole world. So, I'm glad I could enlighten you on the Terminator days that are coming. Yes. But yeah, I do it solely for fun. Because I enjoy playing the game. Figured, you know, some people, for whatever reason, I was never big as a kid at watching other people play games. I've gotten into it, because I've watched several Let's Plays at this point. I kind of enjoy watching Let's Plays. But, I know as a kid, you know, they'd be like, oh, just watch me play. No, I came to play the game. Just because you like watching other people play doesn't mean I want to. Let me have the controller. It's my turn to play Mario 64. So, yeah. I was that kid that would fight over the controller at daycare because I wanted to be playing the video game instead of someone else. You know, screw everybody else. It was my turn to play. But you know, I've just loved playing video games for a long time now, so it's one of those things you kind of, it changes as you get older and you grow up on how you view games. I remember when I was really young, you know, you just played it because of cool characters and whatnot. But now I start to pay attention to like story and music and stuff like that. So some of my favorite games have changed simply because, you know, although the gameplay and stuff is awesome, I wanna have a more intricate story to it. It's not just let's go save the princess. No offense against Mario, but you know, it's kind of a bland story. I prefer, you know, some of the Paper Mario kind of story behind it for Mario series because, you know, it's more interactive, more intuitive. I don't know if intuitive is there, but more intuitive. Use it. I love some of the, like I said before, I love some of the later Sonic games. It's ridiculous. I'm seeing almost all Sonic Adventure 2 Battles songs just because they're catchy as hell. And, you know, I played so much of the game. I gotta admit, Crush 40, best thing Sega ever did, investing in Crush 40, because that company produced some of the best music I've ever heard. I have one of their albums simply because they're that good. And a lot of their really, really good ones are in games that are really, really kind of bad. So, I mean, people have said it before, but it's almost like the worse the Sonic game, the better it is. If the game's really horrible, you can usually count on it. Alright, let's grab this. Now, up here towards the tail end of this level, if you don't get it, like if you don't do a certain thing exactly right, you will have to do the level again in order to get the last of the items. Just throwing that out here, so take your time with it. Well, I guess it's not so much taking your time, it's you mess it up, there's not a way to fix it, so.
Blast! We need to open the main gate! Two things. One, the pirates say the switch is way up on that tower. And two, they also lie a lot. Oh no.
Yeah,
Good
so.
luck. Let me know how you do.
Yeah, so it's just amazing to me the kind of different things you look at as you grow up and you get older. Not saying I'm really old, but so this spot right here, so there's a bounce pad and you want to keep pushing forward as much as possible after you hit it because you got to get over here. And you don't want to go back down yet because you go get the last of the items over here. It took me forever to figure out why I kept missing that treasure chest, so it's back over here. Yeah, because I mean, I didn't try Metal Gear Solid until they had Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater for the 3DS. After playing that, I see that, you know, as confusing as that story is, it's actually really, really intricate. I mean, granted, I started with a great one. A lot of people say Metal Gear Solid 3 is the best one. But yeah, I felt that game had an amazing story behind it. It was really, really deep, and had a lot of, you know, emotion tied to it. The things Big Boss was going through. I guess he was naked Snake at that point in time, but yeah, I mean, it's one of those things like, you don't get that in everything these days. A lot of people don't realize, you know, especially the people that think video games are the devil, that they lead to everybody being horrible people. They don't get that, you know, there's a lot of actually kind of good stuff in video games. Like, you know, I've learned a decent amount from video games. I mean, not everything from video games, but there's some good life stuff in there. Being, you know, just a good person in general. There's a lot of games that have that kind of thing. Just missing a soul gem. Trying to remember. Might have missed it somewhere else. Yeah, I probably did. Okay, so if I don't find it before the end of the level, I will, because I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it might be towards the end, but if I can't find it, I will put at the end of the episode where it was, instead of playing through the entire level again just to show it. Unless, I mean, I'll do that, and then at the end, because there might be other things where this happens, where I forget something. If y'all want like a clip of me showing where it's at, I can do that too. Do an animation. Looks like I just straight up missed it. As soon as I touch that, that ends the level. Yeah, apparently I missed it. So, yeah, so I'll put where it was in the level, like right as I'm saying it right now. I'll put that, you know, I'm an idiot and I missed it on the process of going through the level. Let you all know where it's at, and you know, I can put on bonus clips towards the end of all the stuff Rando Gamer missed as he was going through his supposedly 100% walkthrough. So, yeah, that'll conclude this level now.
Skylanders, we're free! And on one of their own ships! You know, I always wanted to be a pirate. I wonder how I'd look with an eye patch.
Yeah. Totally messed that one up. That was pretty solid. I think I have to go back in the water at some point and find it. So, I think. Don't quote me on it. Yeah, so we'll let this play.
Behold the twin spouts of Osha Major Minor, forged from the scales
I've had
of
a decent amount of gaming experience at this point. Feel that, you know, there's some good stuff there. You learn a decent amount. Now, I mean, too much. I mean, with everything in life, too much of one thing can be really bad. But
now that the twin spouts of Osha Major Minor are in place, we can talk about the eternal water source. Turns out it's located in a string of islands.
String of islands? Huh, what are we waiting for? I'll get the boat ready.
Oh, you'll need more than a boat, I'm afraid. From what I've heard, the eternal water source has returned to the sea and can only be summoned with the 4 ancient statues on these islands.
Why do I think there's a big but in all of this?
But I've also heard rumors of a giant fish that lives in those waters. It's said that he eats whole villages. The locals call him Leviathan.
Leviathan? Oh.
It looks as if we have more than just
so
chaos and the darkness to worry about.
this becomes
We
a
must
trend in the
be
game that for
extremely cautious.
each of the sources, there'll be like 3 to 4 levels associated with them before you can actually get the source. So, yeah. Yeah, so in the next episode we will actually get the eternal water source. Call it a day. But that's has been Let's Play Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.